Hello, everybody, wherever you may be, from coast to coast and sea to Shawnee Sea. Welcome back to the Shack in Oregon. This is Ham Radio Live. Happy Saturday. It's 25th day of September 2021. Get the year right this time. That's ahead of last day's show. We're actually going to do a better job today exploring tropospheric ducting as well as transequatorial propagation. We'll talk about that today. Plus, you got a trivia question, your ham radio weather, and we'll spend some time with each other, which is the main point of this here program. So, wherever you're coming from the four winds of the world, and away we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Shack in Oregon. My name's Larry. My call sign's Kilo 7 Hotel November. The whole purpose of us doing this is to help you to get in amateur radio. It's not too hard. People have so many stigmas about, it's too hard. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I can't remember things. I'm not good at math. There's all kinds of excuses, but that's just what they are. They're excuses. You can get into amateur radio. The first thing to do is to get a hold of a national radio group, okay? Let them know where you're at by hitting the Contact Us bar on their webpage. They'll find a radio club near you, and then it's up to you. You contact the radio club near you, and then they'll help you get on the air. Let's try these out, for example. First one, the American Radio Relay League. Thanks for the thumbs up. It's so nice. Find them at www.arl.org. Hit the Contact Us bar. In UK, our wonderful mates of the Radio Society of Great Britain at www.rsgb.org. They'll help you. Just hit the Contact Us bar. In Canada, the Radio Amateurs of Canada can be found at www.rac.ca. In Japan, the Japan Amateur Radio League at www.jarl.org. And for our mates in Australia, the Wireless Institute of Australia can be found at www.wia.org. If you'd like to email the show, have a show suggestion, maybe a question, want to talk about a product, maybe you're thinking of buying a product, you wonder about it, please feel free and hit me up at the show's email address, which is cqhamradiolive@gmail.com. If you'd like to help us in our mission to help get people licensed, that's why we're here, please do what you can. Give it PayPal. The address there is proverbs356@me.com, or you can help us on Patreon at Ham Radio Live. Happy Saturday, everybody. It's good to see you. Welcomes from around the world. First one in, and this is truly fitting. This is JJ. He's all the way in Canada, and look carefully at that emoji. He's first one in. Congratulations, man. You did it. For newcomers to the channel, first person in always gets the Roadrunner. It's funny, it's JJ today. Excuse me. So hello, JJ. Jeff, good to see you, man. Call sign Victor Echo 3, Whiskey Juliet. Jeff, it's great to see you. Happy Saturday to you. Very, very happy Saturday. Kevin O'Doublehand from the Emerald Isle of Ireland. It is my honor and privilege. Thank you for coming. Gosh, it's great to see you, Kev. How are you this evening in Ireland? I hope things are well and the weather is good. It's really an honor to have you tonight. Thank you for coming. My mate, Glenn Stevenson. The pups are there. The coffee's brewed, and he's here from Australia. Welcome. It's great to see you, Jay. My gosh, Glenn. Wow. I'm always glad to see you. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. My brother Bob is here. Hi, Bob. He's our courtesy of WIFI. Bob, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. We have some really neat guests who are coming to the channel, and they all have different skill sets. The whole idea of this channel, when we started in August of 2020, doing these shows, was to help people get over the stigma of getting into ham radio, that you can do it. And thankfully, 21 licenses have been earned. People have told me, thank you, help me get my license. 21 licenses, and I'm really honored by that, because I'm not a brilliant person. I haven't been licensed long enough to be an Elmer. I just have passion to help people. And thankfully, a long time in radio broadcasting helped me with, knowing an awful lot about, how radio works. But, the test is different, and you can pass it. Don't think you can't. There are wonderful people who are coming that'll help you learn different aspects about ham radio. For example, Ray Novak, he's going to be speaking at the RSGB convention coming up on October the 9th. It's going to be on 2 YouTube streams. And Ray, November 9 Juliet Alpha from ICOM North America, is going to be speaking about de-expeditions that don't break the bank. He's going to be coming here, and he'll give that same presentation, I'm sure a condensed version of it, but he's also going to talk to you about ICOM radios right before Christmas time. Perfect time. If you're thinking of changing rigs, good guy. Also, my mate Cal McCormick from DX Commander's coming, and that's great. We're going to have so much fun. I'm really looking forward to Cal coming. Callum, of course, owns DX Commander. You'll find it online. Of course, just hit DX Commander. He's really, really big. Makes the best antennas for ham radio there is in the world. Really for the money. It's amazing. The quality, the construction, the parts, everything he puts in there is well thought out. And they're thought out not only to work really well, but to last you a long time too. So if you're thinking about building an antenna or possibly buying maybe one of Cal's antennas, he'll be here to answer your questions. It's going to be on October 20th at 20 UTC. Easy to remember, 20 at 20. So remember, October 20th at 20 UTC, join us live for Callum McCormick, DX Commander, live here on Ham Radio Live. Looking forward to that. Also, Randy Hall, Kilo 7, Alpha Golf Echo. And Randy's got an amazing YouTube channel. And this guy has been to places that I dream of. The Television Museum, like the history of TV, all in one building. I could spend hours. He's been at WLW in Cincinnati, the old transmitter site when it was 500,000 watts. It was the most powerful AM radio station in the world. And Randy went there with a group of hams. Great video. There's a great video on his channel about all this. Take a look at his channel. Just YouTube search K7AGE, Randy Hall, coming October 30th at 20 UTC. He'll be answering your questions and helping you. If you're new to ham radio or have questions about ham radio, Randy is going to be here. Also, we have a gentleman who's really cool. His name is Fred. His call sign is Whiskey Whiskey 4 Lima Lima. And Fred came up with this idea of, the average person can't afford a superstation. Now, a superstation, right? Tower, multiple stacked Yagis, full power amplifiers, everything you'd want in a station of your dreams. Fred has a business where he has multiple locations where he's set up these superstations with these towers and these antennas, and you can rent them. Seriously, he even has one in the Caribbean. He's going to be here to talk about that. I want to thank Greg Boggs from the channel for the information about that. I talked with Fred. Fred will come and talk to you about his business and what he does. And if you've ever wanted to work a superstation and be the target of people from all over the world, and the cool part, be able to not only hear them, but transmit to them, make sure and join us. I'll give you the date as soon as we can on that. All right. Quick welcomes. Mike is here from Jacksonville. Hi, Mike. Kilo Delta 2, Sierra X-Ray Delta. It's an honor to see you today. Wasn't planning to do a show today, but I didn't like the way yesterday's show sounded. It bugged me. It just bugged me. So here I am. Hi, Pobut from Eugene, Oregon. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming today. It's an honor to have you. We have a trivia question today. We're going to make this worth 5 points. Okay, so 5 points. North America gets it. Okay, 5 more. So then you have 21. If Europe gets it, you take the lead. If Australia gets it, you're right in the game. Let's take a look at the trivia question today. How much? Oh, well, this was yesterday's, of course. Sorry about that. Larry's working left-handed. Sorry. Let me give you the real trivia question. Here it is. HAT. HAAT. So Hotel Alpha Alpha Tango. It stands for A, a large piece of headgear. B, Henry Association authorized tower. C, huge antenna apparatus termination. Or D, height above average terrain. Please hit me up with A, B, C, or D. We'll let you know which continent gets it right today first, and you will be the person to get it right and get it going. This is the weekend for Worldwide RTTY. This is the RTTY Worldwide Contest. Yeah, look at the bands. Here's 20. Check that out. That's all radio teletype people working. It's just like a rainfall. Look at that right now. It's just 20 meters right now, and it's amazing. So if you're working the radio teletype contest, the best to you, all right? Question, already people piling in. HAT, H-A-A-T, stands for. All right, we've got first answer in, and it comes from Mike in Jacksonville, Florida. Kilo Delta 2, Sierra X-Ray Delta. He says, D, height above average terrain. Dynamite, dude. A dynamite! You got it. Good job. Wow. 21, North America. This is amazing. Wow. Andy Bronson also got it right. Mike 7, X-Ray Tango Tango. You know, Andy, we're going to give you a 2.5 for that because you were right after Mike. And it might have come through on your end, you know, the same way. Glenn Stevenson, we'll give you 2.5 as well. That gives Europe 14.5, and Australia now it's going to have 5.5. So it's good. Kevin O'Dobahan, all the way in Ireland, got D. He's correct. Jeff in Canada has it correct. Ed Lee, good. Hello, good. My gosh, great to see you. Welcome. Kilo Oscar 4, Lima Kilo has it right. D as well. And look at this, my brother Bob. Doggone it, Bob, going to make you a ham radio operator. Good. You did it. Look at that. He got it right. That's awesome, Bob. I'm proud of you, man. Wow. Steve is here. Hello, Golf 7, Lima Juliet Lima, all the way in the UK. Hi, Larry. Another good topic and pleasure to be with you all again. Steve, the honor truly is mine. Thank you very much for coming today. Appreciate it. All right. So let's talk about this today. We're going to talk first the weather, and then we'll get into the difference. We had tropospheric ducting and transequatorial. I didn't like how I covered it yesterday. It made me really mad because I just, you know, I do this to help people, but I do it. I want to help you the right way. So let's do it over. This is cut to the real one. Let's take a look at first weather powered by ICOM. ICOM, for the love of ham and shortwave radio. Here's your A1A. Looks pretty good. Not too bad. We've got some sunspots there. Solar flare activity. You can see that we've got some solar activity running. The current stability of the sun the last 3 days. Got some solar spikes, which is great. An M-class flare 2 days ago. It's not going to affect our ionosphere, so no worries there. Here's information about CME that happened. Solar activity during the past 24 hours was at low levels with a number of very minor B flares and one low-level C flare detected. Most of this activity was centered around AR, which is a sunspot, 2871 in the southern hemisphere. It talks about at least one coronal mass ejection from the M-class flare activity, which was 2 days ago on the 23rd, is predicted to possibly glance past Earth. This, in combination with an expected coronal hole stream, could generate minor, which is G1 to moderate G2 geomagnetic storming at higher latitudes within the next 72 hours. We'll keep an eye on that. That means that the propagation could be interrupted. So we'll, on the lower bands. So we'll watch out for that. Your K index, which is current, this is a K1, great conditions, means it's low noise floors. MUF 3 hours ago, you see Alaska barely there at 13.59. Boulder was at 16.38. Jamaica, Peru at 20.69. And wow, look at Ascension Island itself, 32.37. Hermana, South Africa was 16.28. Athens, Greece, 25.62. And Darwin, Australia was at 9.36. Following the MUFs, and this is important for new hams, MUFs, maximum usable frequency. It gives you an idea of where the top frequency you can use for point-to-point communication is in the world. So you get an idea of what their max frequencies are and where yours is. Let's take a look at it right now. Here's Alaska up to 14.78. So they now support 20 meters. Boulder is at 18.02. It'll support 17. Jamaica, Peru, 21.70. Ascension Island is at 25.15. Hermana, South Africa, 14.03. Athens, Greece, 12.21. And Darwin, Australia is waking up to 9.22, but they'll be clear way over 20 megs by the end of the day. Current conditions, SFI 87, that's a good number. Solar number is 75, still solid from yesterday. Index dropped 3, that's good, to 8. So 8 is stable, and that's a better number than having it at 11, which was yesterday. Okay, that means there's a little less of interference from the sun. K is 1, that's the impact from the planets and how they affect our noise floors. That means we have very quiet conditions at K1. There's your HF conditions, 80 through 20. I think you'll get 17 today, too. EME degree is fair, and here is your forecast, powered by ICOM. ICOM, for the love of ham radio. Daytime, ham radio bands open today for voice. Northern Hemisphere, 20, 17, and 15. Equatorial latitudes, you'll get 20, 17, 15, and possible 12. Southern Hemisphere today, 20, 17, 15. I think possible 12 as well in the south. Data 30 through 12, all latitudes. Nighttime ham tonight, 160, 80, 75, 60, 40, 30. Your best DX on 40, but don't forget 20 meters. You can still make calls there. Make sure your rig is on around sunset and see what you can hear. Shortwave bands today during the daytime, 31, 25. So 31, 25, 22, and 19. Your shortwave nighttime bands, 120, 90, 75, 60, 49, 41, 31, 25, 22, and a 50% chance of 19 meters going. I think it'll go all the way to close to midnight for you. So that should be good. All right. Welcome to the show today. It's great to see you this Saturday. And part of it was coming back because I wanted to redo what I did because it wasn't very good yesterday. Let's talk about tropospheric propagation because it's on the tests. And a lot of people, it'll be really hard to understand. Tropospheric propagation has a lot to do with weather, and it has to do with VHF, UHF. So imagine warmer air above colder air. Okay, so you've got an air mass that is cooler and moist where you are. Okay, well, so above that though, and usually it could be like 200 meters. It's not very high. You have a warmer air mass above that. Okay, and it can be seen. You can usually see this. And for people in the Northern Hemisphere, a good time where we have tropospheric ducting is the month of July. You'll hear signals from Hawaii on 2 meters first, and then they'll go up to 70 centimeters, and it can even go higher. Okay, so what does it look like? Well, when you take a look at exactly what you're looking for, when you see what you might be having, tropospheric duct, it looks like this. See how the fog bank is kind of, it's limited there in that one area? It's very flat on the top. You see that? This is a time when we have the opportunity to work 2 meters and 440. So UHF, VHF, which is typically line of sight. Remember, UHF, VHF typically on flat land will go maybe 10 to 12, maybe 15 miles, right? But if you have tropospheric ducting, it's a warm air mass that the signal literally bounces up and down, up and down, up and down, over and over again until it reaches your destination. That's why in July we can hear in the West Coast, Hawaii on 2 meters or on 70 sems, even higher than that. That's why. And so tropospheric ducting is literally, think of it like an area that's above, Europe maybe 200 or 300 feet, and above that is a warm air mass. It's warmer than where you're at. That signal rides that area, and literally what happens is it makes the call that typically might go 10 or 12 miles. All of a sudden, that darn call is going, thousands of miles. No kidding. Let's take a look real quick, and bear with me. Again, I'm left-handed here, and it's not coming on the screen. Of course, it isn't. Why would it? It's supposed to. But here, let's try it for the 4th time. Yeah. Okay, so when you do this, there we go, finally. All right. Let's look at the atmospheric layers, and this will help you, okay, hopefully to understand this. You see the troposphere. It's at the very bottom. It's right where we're at. It's where we live, okay? It's from the surface, and it goes up, maybe 10 kilometers. That's it. Now, thankfully in Hawaii, they have towers that are up on volcanoes, that transmit these beacons and signals that we can hear here on the West Coast. But still, that's over 2,500 miles away on VHF, UHF. So when you have tropospheric ducting, you have cold air at the surface, warmer air above, and that signal travels in a duct. Think of tropospheric ducting like the ducting in your house, okay? You've got ducts that go from your furnace to your rooms, but they're ducts, right? The signal just travels through this duct like a tunnel from where, the transmitting origination location is, and just bounces up and down, up and down, up and down in that warm air mass until it gets to where you're at. That's tropospheric ducting. It makes it simpler to understand. Tropospheric ducting is really about the weather more than anything else. And you can see it. You really can. It's usually a layer, like you'll see smog or dust or something like that, and it'll be a layer. It'll be a clearly defined layer. Above that, it's clear because it's warm air. That's where the signal's bouncing. Okay, that's why you can do it. And you don't have to be up like 300 or 400 feet, 500 feet to pick up the signal. You can be at 100 feet and still get that signal. Because remember, the troposphere is right against the Earth. Makes it simple. Now let's talk about real quick we're going to talk about transequatorial propagation, because it's also on the test. Transequatorial propagation is a way that people can make contact along the equator or tropic to tropic. Think of it that way, middle of the earth. And in that area, the signals will bounce up and down, up and down, up and down, similar to tropospheric ducting, but in the E layer of the ionosphere. All right? The signals don't go up to the E layer, down to the ocean, back up again, and down to the ocean. They bounce up and down in the ionosphere, not losing signal for every refraction of hitting the Earth's surface. Okay? And it will only go east-west. So it's for two locations that are at or near the equator that can make contact together. The reason why is because the sun ionizes very heavily the center of the Earth, especially during the equinoxes. So you get to fall or to spring. The sun is directly over the equator. Okay? If you take a look behind me here at the geochron, you can see that no area of the Earth is like flattened out where they can curve it out, where it's daylight all the time. It's darkness, both, north and south. So it's equal right now because we've just reached fall in the northern hemisphere, spring in the southern hemisphere. This is a great time where transequatorial propagation works brilliantly because the sun heavily charges that area in the center of the Earth's surface so that transequatorial ducting can happen. Transequatorial propagation can happen. It's a way that the signal can come from, say, for example, Ecuador or Brazil or Peru to, the Canary Islands, for example, right? Because the signal is just bouncing around up in the atmosphere, not going up, then hitting the Earth, then up. Because remember, every refraction, you're losing not only a little bit of signal strength coming back up, but the signal also dissipates a little bit, okay? It bounces, but it's not like a laser beam. It doesn't hit the ground and go straight back up again. What it does is it hits the ground and then it spreads out a little bit as it goes up, okay? That's how radio waves work. They don't work linearly, okay? They work as they hit the ground and they bounce up, okay? So transequatorial propagation is during usually during the equinoxes, and it gives the chance for signals to bounce up and down during the middle of fall, spring. Fall, spring, you have a great chance because it literally will work constantly many times in the mid-latitudes. And a good example of that is if you take a look, for example, at the weather we had here just not too long ago, actually. Let me show you the picture real quick of a good transequatorial day, okay? Right here is a good example. Okay, take a look at Peru, South America there, 27.15, and Ascension Island, 31.84. Now, both will cover, of course, 12 meters, no problem, and Ascension Island can cover 10. But the point is, look at how high the MUFs are. It's because the sun is right over the center of the Earth. So that's a great time where your signal, if you're mid-latitude, you're going to make great calls east-west. It's not going to go north-south. It's going to go east-west and ride that pipeline. That's how it works. When you use transequatorial works along the equator. So for people who are studying for their tests, remember, transequatorial propagation is enhanced propagation that bounces around the ionosphere from point to point along the ionosphere. Trophospheric propagation is more related to weather, cold and warm fronts. It's a level of warm air above cold air that travels from one place to another. And it's VHF, UHF. That's the big difference. Trophospheric propagation is VHF, UHF. But when you get to transequatorial propagation, it's HF. It goes through the ionosphere. Hope that makes sense. It's a way that you understand both formats, okay? Transequatorial is about transequatorial is HF only. It works along the equator, okay? Signals bounce around the ionosphere. Don't lose much power. That's way great calls, 5, 7, 10,000 miles. When you're talking tropospheric propagation, because the troposphere is right against the Earth's surface, now that VHF signal that typically works line of sight, maybe 10, 12 miles, okay? Instead of 10, 12 miles, you can get 2,500 miles out of it. Depends on how big the warm front inversion is. How big that inversion goes depends on how far that signal goes. So typically month of July here in North America. In the South, that would be in January. So look in both hemispheres during that month on 2 meters, and it always works the same. It'll start on 2, then it will go to 70 sems and up, okay? Here's the difference. Transequatorial is HF always along the equator, okay? And tropospheric propagation has to do with VHF, UHF, and extends the signal without a repeater. There you go. All right, now I feel better about this production. Jeez. Glenn Stevenson, Australia, looking forward to 10 meters opening up. Me too. Yeah, 10's going to be fun. It's not going to be long. I think with the way that the sun cycle is going right now, Glenn, I think you guys can have a beautiful summer down there for calls. I really do. I'm looking forward to our QSO as well. All right, guys, that's going to be it. I am toast here. So I wanted to make sure I did this right and left you with the right information, not the wrong stuff. Because yesterday I felt I touched on it, but I didn't really read it very well. I didn't express it well. And you have my apologies for that. Yeah, I'm, like I say, jack of all trades, master of none. There you go. We had a great guest yesterday, and his name is Benny. He joined us from Israel. And Benny, thank you. Shalom to you for coming. I want to play today's sign-off. We have it from Israel. My name's Larry. My call sign is Kilo 7 Hotel November. The whole channel purpose here is to help you get into ham radio and let you understand that it's possible. It's probable. If you really put your heart into it, you can do it. Contact a radio club like the American Radio Relay League at www.arl.org. Just hit the Contact Us bar. Once you hit that, then they'll get back to you and let you know where a radio club nearby is. You contact that radio club, get to know them. Maybe ham radio isn't for you, but maybe it is, and they'll help you find out about ham radio one-on-one. It's good stuff. Until we meet again, my friends, thanks for watching. God bless you wherever you may be. My name is Larry, and my call sign is Kilo 7 Hotel November. Thank you sincerely for watching Ham Radio Live.
כאן נסתיימו שידורי הטלוויזיה הישראלית לערב זה. לילה טוב מירושלים.
Thank you.